So after doing a super long Yu-Gi-Oh video that took me weeks to work on and thankfully everybody loves, thank you very much for all the kind words on that video. There is only one thing to talk about here at Kevin Central, and that is more Yu-Gi-Oh! That's right, we are here once again to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s after taking a little time off to finish that last video. And a lot has happened, in particular in the last two episodes, which I just watched back to back. And there's some big shit revealed that I think deserves its own video. So for now, I want to focus on what I think the overall point of this whole thing was. The actual meaning of this first, because this was basically the first arc, of what the first arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's really at its core was about. And to get there, we must look to the past, because God knows Konami won't stop. We must look back to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And one of the big things that people remember about the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Besides crazy hair and Exodia obliterate and blah blah blah, one thing everyone remembers is the power of friendship. Yu-Gi-Oh! More than a lot of other animes really put a lot of emphasis on the power of friendship. There's multiple iconic meme-to-death big speeches about the subject, and for the most part, yeah, power of friendship is a big aspect of that original Yu-Gi-Oh! It is constantly on display, and we get some great scenes because of it. From there, though, the franchise kind of lost its way in that regard. I've talked before how in GX, Jaden is like the only important character, and everyone's completely disposable. 5D's tries. They try quite a bit. You know, they've got 6 main characters who are all supposed to be buddies. Except about halfway through, 3 of them become useless, and then 2 of the remaining 3 also become pointless as the show progresses. Zale gets close. It gets very close. The problem there, though, is it's just about Yuma's relationships to everybody, and, you know, the other 2 to their own siblings. Which is good, but not really bringing us back and emphasizing power of friendship the way I think it's meant to. I've talked to death about Arc 5 and how too many characters kind of muffles everything up in that show. And Vrains is a fucking shit show in this respect. So when Sevens comes out and it really wants to put emphasis on the 4 major characters, it becomes very apparent that they want friendship to be a theme in this show. And I think we can all, even people who aren't in love with the show, can agree they succeed, and I think they succeed flawlessly. Like, I love these 4 characters, and I love them together and their interactions. This isn't just one is friends with the other and sort of hangs out with the other 2, which was kind of a problem in the original. Like, how many scenes do Yugi and Tristan really have besides the one? But in this, what's really cool about it is that everyone has individual relationships with each other. I totally buy and understand how Yugioh feels about Luke, how he thinks about Roman, who has her opinions about Gakudo, and so on and so forth. All 4 of these kids have very well-defined personalities and very well-defined interactions with each other, which means that when power of friendship becomes a big emphasis in the show, I believe it. I genuinely 100% believe that this first arc, above all else, was about reminding us of what power of friendship can really mean and do as a thing, like just an idea in a story. And that's what we're here to talk about today, how power of friendship returned to Yu-Gi-Oh! And how it became one of its strongest elements once again. So first and foremost, I think we should probably look into, if we're going to talk about our protagonists, we should talk about our antagonists. We've had 2 major villains thus far. We have had Roa, who is our main rival, and we've had Nail, who is probably also going to be a rival. I don't know. We'll see what they do with him later. But a big aspect of these 2 characters is that they don't really have actual friends. Roa doesn't have friends. He has peons, and when those peons realize what Roa is doing with them, he just kind of is like, well, whatever. And that is also funny, but it is very interesting. Here we are, all the other rivals, they try to come up with some way to humanize them, but Roa, the emphasis is put on how separate he is from everybody, how he's almost not human. And this is a great contrast to Yugioh, who is now surrounding himself with friends. Yugioh has a group of people he cares about and who care about him in vice versa. So when we go up against Roa, it's almost like this conflict of ideals, hence the point of them being rivals. So then, when we go up against Nail, we see the same thing, but in sort of a different way. Because our four friends had gone through this big heavy trial with Roa, you sort of feel like their bonds are strengthened because of this, as well as redefined, as they had to sort of re-understand how to be friends again after Roman's essential betrayal. So when we go up against Nail, a character who takes this even further than Roa, someone who doesn't want friends at all, someone who just thinks in terms of cold, hard nihilism. That's right, nihilism was in a Yu-Gi-Oh show. Pure and simple, that is what happened here. Nail doesn't put emphasis on friendships or bonds or everything. Or anything. Just the cold logic of moving the universe forth. And you know what? These are two people who are fairly similar to Yugioh. Yugioh can at times be manipulative. He can push people's buttons to move them in the right direction he needs them to for his own goals. Yugioh is 100% about his goal of getting rush duels to everybody. That is what he is about. But what separates him from these other two is Yugioh has friends. He cares about people. He has relationships with people. And the whole emphasis of this first arc is seeing how those relationships grow and progress. A lot of people have said that this show is very light on plot. I would actually argue the plot progresses at about the usual pace they move at in these kinds of anime, Yu-Gi-Oh or not. The difference though is that in other anime like this, they will have the plot elements be the driving force of the episode, which means you get snail pace moving, one thing happens in episode type stories. Here you will get that one short thing. They put up a duel video, Goha takes it down, they re-upload it, Yugioh hacks the system to get a lot of likes and attention, so on and so forth. But what it will then do is it will put that plot to the background so it can have character moments, fun little scenes. These are the things that get you to care about these people. So when the plot comes back into it with having to fight Nail, you sort of feel this really strong connection to everybody, and you feel this strong desire when they're going into it. And you also understand why having friends actually becomes hard for Yugioh. They are all now officially tied to him. This is not just they're doing this with him for the fun of it or because they want to get something out of it. Yugioh has now put them directly in harm's way. Not physical harm's way, as far as we know, but they would lose their ability to duel. They would get in serious trouble, and we see how this really weighs on Yugioh, and it puts him in a very troublesome state. He almost stops caring about rush duels getting hurt and what this could do to his friends. This would never matter to Roa. This would never matter to Nail. But it mattered to Yugioh because these are the people he cares about. And because they care about him, they were then willing to put their own necks at stake to go up against Otis to try and figure out a way to help Yugioh. They went and did all this because they want to help him succeed. Also, they're screwed either way, so they might as well just go ahead and do it. And it's through that they find there is only one solution. Cheat! Cheat, goddammit! Cheat! But no, this idea that they've literally put their hopes in Yugioh's deck. There is no getting out of this now. This idea that they are in it for the long haul, and I genuinely believed it. And when Yugioh basically puts them all out there on the field to make a giant fucking mech, yeah, that happened, that was awesome, I believe it. I believe the bond these kids share, and I want to see more of it. I want to see more interactions. Maybe the plot will never be that important to this show, but you know what? I'm kind of fine with that, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has done something I didn't think it would ever really do ever again. And that is, it got me to believe in the power of friendship. So yeah, that's it. There was so much to freaking talk about. We got to do a world building video at some point. We got another episode coming out today. I wanted to get this video out now though. So yeah, in the comment section below, give me your thoughts on these 6 episodes of Sevens. If you think the friendship scene is good, or if you would like a little more plot, which yeah, I could maybe go for a little more stuff going on. But yeah, no, tell me that below. And as for the TCG question of the next few days, because I got to talk about the next episode. We'll keep calling it TCG question of the week. Maximum gold the Gold Series set gave us alternate art, something we as Yu-Gi-Oh fans have wanted for a very long time. And even though a lot of the alternate arts in it are kind of hit or miss, I really miss Appaloosa's bear. Don't know why. I miss the bear. Let me know below. What cards do you want to get more alternate arts? Because I want this gravy train to keep going. I want my boy Colossus to get a super cool... I just want to see Colossus's tail. Can we just see it? Or does he have like little tiny legs at the end? Oh god, what am I even imagining at this point? Tell me about all that below. And as always, click to like, click subscribe, and join me in probably like 2 or 3 days. These get subbed fairly quickly. We'll be back soon to talk about Luke.